Welcome, everybody, to this week's podcast episode for the Financial Freedom Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Christopher Liu. And as you know, we talk about 4 different types of freedom: time, financial, location, health, freedom. And in that light, I'm always interviewing entrepreneurs on the cutting edge, doing interesting things and making an impact. So today's talk is going to be all about the intersection of artificial intelligence, innovation, creativity, and art. And it's a fascinating, I think AI it's really amazing what AI can do. And so today we have Tiffany Richardson, and she's empowering entrepreneurs with AI technology and celebrating that with especially in the female audience and with art. So I'm really excited about this conversation, and I'm happy to welcome Tiffany on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
What's interesting is we are connected through Podmatch, which is like an Airbnb of podcasting. And so tell us more about how you got started, what you do, and it'll be a great conversation.
Okay, no problem. As far as art is concerned, I've always been a creative person. I actually started out in music and dance. And my brother was the visual artist of the family. I never thought that I was that talented with visual arts. I mean, I can barely draw a stick figure. That's what I tell people all the time. But during the pandemic, I actually really dove into visual arts. Before then, like I said, I was into music. I've actually recorded, music and things like that. Same with dance, but I never thought I was good at art. During the pandemic, everything was shut down and we couldn't, go to any of our physicians and therapists and things like that. And so I really found visual art, more specifically painting, to be to help with anxiety and mental health overall. And so that's really how I got into art. I'm on the other side of my brain. I love business. And so it was very hard for me to keep it as a hobby. And so eventually when things started to open back up, I continued going to markets and trade shows and things like that. And I found this niche group of people that absolutely loved my work. Now, when DALL-E came out and all of that stuff, it just took off from there. So that's essentially how I got started in the art environment. So
yeah, I know for a lot of the audience out there, they're not familiar with this, the DALL-E and ChatGPT. Tell us kind of what it is.
All right. So you have, for artistic purposes, you have DALL-E, DALL-E 2, Midjourney. There's a couple of more that I use. The names are escaping me, but that is for generating artwork. Now, there is this grand debate in the artistic community of whether this is actual art or if this is an infringement on other artists' work, or this is not the artist or the actual person creating this. This is a machine, and so that's an ongoing debate. But that is what DALL-E 2, programs like DALL-E 2 and Midjourney are used for. You input words, or which are called a prompt, and it spits out an image, usually in a pack of 4. And then Chat GPT, programs like Jasper.ai, which are the 2 programs I use with my clients as a consultant and coach. Those are more for copywriting. And so if you need to create social media captions, marketing plans, essays, books. I've helped people write books along with myself. I've written books. So that's more for copywriting. So ChatGPT and Jasper, copywriting. DALL-E 2, Midjourney is generative art.
Yeah. And it's really interesting because it's like from text, you can you can put it and then it creates something. And it's really interesting because you talk about this idea of copyright, and which is, like I said, AI is just getting started. And I just got back from the Salvador Dali Museum, and they're using this DALL-E, the program, to create art. And it's really, it's like combining human creativity with machine learning, and then it's putting it together.
Exactly.
So, I mean, is it really copyrighted? It's kind of like, there's a quote that's like, great artists steal, but you're just like
Yeah.
putting things together. So now we talked about that. So we talk about so you talk about leveraging AI technology for small business growth, insights from a digital entrepreneur. Can you share some of those insights that you learned?
Yeah, definitely. When I was in the Navy, I was always told work smarter, not harder. And so I apply the same logic to entrepreneurs and small business owners. Obviously, before I started using programs like ChatGPT and Jasper.ai with my clients, I was using it, myself as an entrepreneur. And I realized that when you use these programs, a lot of people say it's cheating and it's this and that. But my husband says, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. So I've learned that programs like this can cut down costs as an entrepreneur. More so as an example, if you have a social media person, an expert or a director or what have you, and you're paying them by the hour, why not teach them how to use this program to generate 30 days, 90 days, 365 days worth of captions for your social media? Now you've cut down that person's time by however much, and now you're paying less, you're spending less as an entrepreneur. Same thing as if you're an author or if you're a blog writer, everyone's time is worth money, right? Time is money. And so why spend, and I'm by no means saying that these programs are a substitute for an entire book or an entire blog. But why not use these to generate outlines, or you know what I mean, or what I call the meat potatoes of a blog or a book that cuts down drastically the amount of time that you need to create this content, thereby saving you money in the long run and time in the long run.
Yeah, and what's fascinating is like working with this, like normally it would take me like an hour to write something, or you have to come up with the idea, then you have to write it, right? But then with these programs, it can shave like 1 hour down to 5 minutes and 10 minutes. And then now all you have to do is like combine things and, maybe edit here and there. And it's like,
Exactly.
Yeah, it's almost like it's 10x, my creative output. So
yeah. I actually did a presentation recently and for the Verizon Small Business Digital Readiness Program. And I told the audience, I said, I gave a chart, a graphic, and I said, I listed, blog creation, marketing plan, and all of this stuff. And I said, it on average would take you about 101 hours a month to generate all of this content. Why not use AI to shave that down? I think I shaved it down to like 8 to 12 hours or something like that. If you're a beginner, why not shave down all of that time so that you can then move your efforts to something that's more important? So it really can, like you said, 10x or more, the amount of value that you're putting into your business.
Yeah. You know what this is talk about like innovations in art and exploring the use of AI in mixed media.
So I at first was extremely afraid to tell anyone that I was using AI software in my art, because I was like, don't come for me, art community. Like, no, I'm just trying to be creative. And I've never been one to stick to one thing. I'm always like trying to figure out like how to mix things. And so I started to think, I was like, all right, so what can I do with this? I already know how to paint. I already know I'm a crafter also. So I have Cricut machines. And look, if you went into my shop, you just go crazy. If you were analyzing cost and expenses. I was like, oh, well, I can use this as a base, a foundation of sorts. I don't really have a passion to draw or to sketch. My brother does, but I don't. I like throwing paint on things. I like to be colorful. And so that's something that I identified that I'm not good at. And so I thought, well, why not use AI, the things that I generate with actually lines of poetry that I've written? Why not generate that as a foundation, get that printed, and then work on top of that? You know what I mean? And so I have a collection coming out this year called Serene Queens, where the bottom layer, the foundation of the pieces are AI generated artwork based off of, like you said earlier, what I come up with as a human. And then from there, I layer on acrylic paint, crushed glass, fabric, fake hair, depending on the piece, all sorts of different things to make this really unique piece of art that is completely different from someone else's.
Yeah, and it's amazing because I know, because I'm talking to a lot of like editors and blog writers, and before you had to like search keywords, you had to hashtags, and you had to optimize SEO, but now you just go to Chat GPT and you just say, write me a SEO optimized version, and it'll plug in because it knows the algorithms, and you just like your blog post is optimized. You don't have to. Like it said, it's so the opportunities are endless. You mentioned that you use Jasper AI for your clients, and you actually have a business. So how do you share your vision for artisan-preneur consulting? That's your company, and how you plan to use AI copywriting tools to help entrepreneurs and small businesses improve their operation.
Yeah, no problem. So a lot of early stage entrepreneurs, they don't know everything. I mean, no one knows everything, but they really don't know the nitty gritty of operating a business yet. That comes with time, right? But why make it so hard for them? You know what I mean? The way that I use AI in my consulting and my coaching is I teach entrepreneurs how to leverage this technology in order, like I said before, in order to, get these mundane things out of the way so that they can really focus on the crux of the business. And so, for instance, I use AI to help entrepreneurs develop their business model canvas. I use the Lean startup canvas, and we go through target market discovery and revenue streams and expenses, expense analysis, all of that stuff. UVP, unique value proposition. But we use AI to do all of this because it shouldn't take you 8, 12, 24, 36 hours to develop or longer actually, to develop a business model canvas so that you understand how your business operates. Let's use AI as a starting point, as a brainstorming tool, so we can get this thing done and get you out into the market in the real world to validate all of this stuff. And that's really how I want people, that's the vision I have for my company, is to shorten the amount of time of planning and beating your head against the wall as an entrepreneur and get you from inside of the, from the drawing board outside into the world where you can actually start making money and interacting with your target market. So that's the vision that I have for my business.
Yeah. Can you talk about your experience as a serial entrepreneur and technology consultant, and how you've been able to leverage community partnerships in your business ventures?
Yeah. So as an artist, like I said, that started a long time ago, but it really kicked off during the pandemic. And like I said, I had gone from one of my first artistic businesses was actually skincare. And I made body butter, bath bombs, soap, all types of stuff. And my unique value proposition was I have all different types of scents. I've had beef jerky, I've had cheesecake, I've had fresh cut grass, I had French fries, bread, all sorts of stuff. But whenever the pandemic hit, I was unable to sell online because that's just something I neglected to learn. And so that was my first business. I moved on to face masks during the pandemic, and that was a crash course in scaling. I went from literally 0 sales to almost 6,000 sales in 30 days. Wow. I know that sounds like a gimmick of sort, but I literally, it surprised me. I was like, who is this person? I literally I tell people, a sweatshop for face masks in my dining room. I was able to buy, I scaled from 1 sewing machine to 3 and all sorts of fabric. So month of April during 2020 was a crash course in scaling. And then I went on to visual arts. As far as business is concerned, consulting and coaching, I've been a consultant and a coach for a long time, but I never put that label on it. And so I've always wanted to help people and things like that. And one thing that I learned as I kind of moved into the official role of a consultant was you see a lot of things online on Facebook, social media that says, join my group or buy my program. It's $5,000. I can teach you how to scale and get 1,000 clients in 24 hours. But what I've learned is start small, right? We don't have to yes, think big, but start small. You don't have to sit there again and bang your head on the wall trying to figure out what course should I take, where can I pay $10,000 for this person to help me make, whatever. Start with the people in your community. I was able to leverage partnerships with the university that I graduated from, Norfolk State University here in Norfolk, Virginia, the Black Chamber of Commerce, and the SBDC, which is the Small Business Development Center here in Hampton Roads, to where a small percentage of my clients come from me actually marketing. I allow these organizations to send me clients and I get paid for it. None of this is volunteer. I get paid for it. And so literally, I'd say one, maybe two out of every 10 clients I have, I've personally, brought on. So that's what I mean by leverage your community, leverage community partnerships. You don't have to do everything yourself.
I love talking to entrepreneurs, especially on the forefront, the cutting edge of technology. If people wanted to follow you, reach out to you, how would they do that?
I have a very unhealthy relationship with Instagram. I'm on there way too much. So you can message me on Instagram, artisan-preneur. And also you can email me, Tiffany at artisan-preneur.com. And preneur is spelled just like the end of entrepreneur. A lot of people are like, what? Yeah. So Instagram, you can message me. Also, you can email me, Tiffany at artisan-preneur.com.
And for all the listeners out there, let's thank Tiffany for a wonderful conversation, really insightful. Be sure to follow her out. She's on, like I said, on all the major social media channels. She's also on Twitter and LinkedIn. And be sure to follow her website and reach out to her. So with that, thanks so much for coming onto the show. And it's a great talk about the intersection of AI, creativity, and content is going to really open up so many amazing opportunities. So thanks so much. And thanks for coming onto the show.